Welcome back, everybody. Today on Bucket List Gear, we're taking a look at the mighty Boss DM-2 delay. This is my old DM-2 that I bought secondhand years and years ago. It wasn't working, and I managed to get it up and running, and it's just cool. It's pink. It has a whole bunch of character. It's not exactly a very pristine sounding delay. It doesn't have a whole bunch of delay time on there, but for what it does, you would be hard pressed to find anything else which sounds cooler. It has spawned a whole legion of admirers and a whole legion of imitators as well. So let's get straight into it and check out why I think the Boss DM-2 is a piece of gear everybody should try at least once. To get started, we will set the repeat rate to a minimum, which actually maxes out the delay time. There's about 300 milliseconds of delay. Echo is cranked, which is going to give us a 50-50 mix, and intensity is at a minimum, meaning there's no feedback. This is going to give you a good idea of what the actual quality of the delay sound is like. So you can hear there the repeats are really heavily filtered. There's a lot of distortion on there, and furthermore, there's a lot of high-end frequency content removed from the signal there, which is what a lot of guitar players would say the delays sound warm. What that really means often is that there's just not a lot of high frequency content in there. Nevertheless, the DM-2 is a really warm sounding delay. Again, these bucket brigade designs require a lot of high-end filtering in order to remove clock noise from the signal. So that's what we've got going on there. If you change the delay time and get more into slapback territory, you get this. Which almost sounds like a kind of faux reverb. You can get more of that faux reverb thing by turning the repeat rate up even more, meaning the delay time is going down. As you can hear there, it's almost like a spring reverb. It doesn't quite have the same qualities, but I kind of like analog delay a little bit more than reverb in that case if I'm going for that kind of thing. You know, I've heard a lot of people say that their favorite type of reverb is an analog delay. If we switch over to a dirty sound, I'm going to set this kind of repeat rate somewhere near the middle. I'm going to turn the echo right down, and I'll just go to 1 repeat. You can kind of get that Van Halen 1 thing going on with this, where you just have the single repeat. It is going to be a lot cleaner sounding than your main signal, but it is going to have a really nice quality to it. And again, that high-end roll-off is really important for getting it to kind of sit in there. You get this. And that's a very classic sound right there. Before effects loops were common on amps, you know, everybody just ran echo in front of their amp. Pete Thorne has a great video on this, and I would highly recommend checking it out. It's like a tone hack, but the DM-2 is great for that. If you crank up the delay time as well, and you do the dotted 8 thing, you kind of have a cool thing where you've got your main signal distorted, and then the repeats are going to be kind of clean, which is nice. And hopefully you can hear there as well, as you increase the delay time or turn the repeat rate down, the delays actually get darker sounding. So there's even more of that filtering in there. The real fun to be had with analog delays, though, is when you crank the feedback all the way up and you get them to self-oscillate. This is what I'm talking about. Wonderful stuff. And you can use that as a dedicated effect on its own. Just have that buzzing away in the background, flick the effect on and off, and you get this kind of ray gun maniac space kind of sound going on there. So I mean, it is a very, very simple little pedal. I don't think it's worth the insane amount of money that a vintage DM2 goes for, especially given you've got the DM2W, which Boss manufacture now, which can actually give you longer delay times. Stuff like the Way Huge Aquapus, which sounds almost exactly the same. And almost any multi-delay or modern modeler is going to have an analog delay mode or a BBD mode, which is going to sound a lot like the DM2. But it's just cool. That's why we like vintage gear as well. It has a very specific aesthetic. This one has lived a very rough life. As you can see, it's totally beaten up. I don't think the BBDs are quite calibrated correctly. It sounds like there's a little bit too much kind of clocking noise or distortion or something in there, but it's got character. And when I'm looking for a piece of gear like this, especially a pedal, I'm chasing character, and I think that's why the DM2 belongs on the list of bucket list gear to check out at least once. Like I said, you don't have to go and spend a whole bunch of money on a vintage one. There are so many modern variants on this because it is an absolute classic pedal. Anyway, what did you guys think of the DM2? I would love to hear from you in the comments. If you're rocking one of these on your board, please let me know. Until next time, stay excellent. I'll see you then.